Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaye Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Namah Pranavarthaye Shuddha Jnanaikamurtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaye Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Bhadram Karne Vishruniyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshabhir Yajatraha Tirairangai Shushtvagam Sastanubihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swastina Indro Vruddhashavaha Swastina Pusha Vishvavedaha Swastina Starksho Arishtanemihi Swastino Brihaspatir Dadatu Om Shanti 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 Like in every other Upanishad, this Upanishad, Kaivalya Upanishad, also starts with the student approaching a guru, in this case Brahmaji, and asking for this knowledge. This knowledge, Brahma Vidya, is generally not given without asking. We've seen this in several places, including the Bhagavad Gita. Only when you ask for this knowledge, there are 2-3 reasons for this. It is not like going and asking for knowledge of any Laukika Vishaya. The thought would not even occur. Otherwise, one might say, I want to gain knowledge of playing, let us say, the tabla. So you go to a teacher who is proficient in tabla, who can teach you well, because you know that such a thing is there. You know that there's an instrument called tabla, and that instrument sounds very nice to you, and you imagine how nice it will be if I could play as nicely. And you therefore look for a teacher who can teach me how to play this beautiful instrument. At various points of time, all of us have gone through this. I have always been fascinated by the flute, simple piece of bamboo with nothing, no frets, no strings, no nothing, and the way people produce beautiful music has always fascinated me. So when I was, I think, about 7 years old or 8 years old, I went and asked my parents, I want to learn the flute. As it happened, for various reasons, that didn't happen. But I did have that. I knew because I heard the flute somewhere, because I knew they were there. I go looking for learning the flute. All of us have gone through this by either because we have ourselves felt that there is something wonderful there I want to learn, or because parents have said that is good for you, go and learn initially, and then later on you also yourself like it and you want to learn. When you have an understanding that such a thing exists and you want to learn about it, one goes for looking for that knowledge. But suppose, even the famous rope snake example, There is a rope and there is bright light. I know there is the rope. I have knowledge of the rope. There is no confusion. If I don't have knowledge of the rope, in other case, I said like flute or tabla or whatever, I can go to somebody who can teach me that, give me that knowledge. On the other hand, if it is pitch dark, I don't see the rope. Again, there's no confusion. Ignorance is bliss. Complete knowledge, not a problem. Complete knowledge of the existence of the object, not a problem. No knowledge, not a problem. Where is the problem? Our problem arises because we have partial knowledge. The problem with the rope occurs because the light is just about enough to see that there is something there. But that Vishesha Jnanam of that object is missing. The Samanya Jnanam is there, that there is an object there. That Vishesha Jnanam is missing of what that object is. Therefore, we project something on it. We know it is there, we don't know what it is, so we project anything else on it. And the example that we use in Shastra is that we project a coiled snake. Because of this confusion, and because of the projection that we make, a lot of consequences are there. In this case, there is fear, increased heartbeat. Some people may even get a heart attack, seeing a snake so close. Because of this confusion and because of the projection on it. Our problem generally is, we know I exist. Nobody can say I don't exist. So we are not in that zone of total non-knowledge, total ignorance, which can be bliss. If I didn't know I exist, I don't have a problem. If I'm a jnani, if I know exactly what I am, then also I don't have a problem. My problem is like the rope snake. I know I exist. That is Samanya Jnanam. But I don't know the exact nature of myself. So what do? Like in the case of a rope, I project something because I know I exist. I have to have a definition for that. I project something. This is our fundamental problem. When you are sleeping, very beautiful state, because that I exist is also not there. That jnanam is also not there. Even the samanya jnanam is absent. So what happens when you are asleep? Sukha rupa. No problem. Either when I'm totally ignorant or totally knowledgeable about I don't have a problem. We have a problem because we have only partial knowledge. And the consequence of that partial knowledge, like in the case of the rope snake, there is consequence. There is confusion. There is dukkha. Not knowing that I am Sukha Swarupa. I am superimposing everything else on top of that. So with that situation, I think I know. Like the fellow who saw the snake and he thought he knew. He saw the snake. He comes running away and then comes to another person. My God, there's a snake there. I saw the snake. It was there. He knows. He knows. Or he thinks he knows. He knows. So there is all the problems that are surrounding that. Total ajnanam, no problem. Like sleep. But problem is partial ajnanam, avidya, which is the moola karanam for all things that follow. When one recognizes that this superimposition that I have made is erroneous, when you recognize that assuming it's a snake is my projection, it may not be a snake. It is something else. What it is, I still don't know. In that situation, you can switch on the light. Oh, it's only a snake. It's only a rope. Here, the same thing happens. When I recognize that I have confusion, I have moha, I seek that light. Where do I seek that light? In the case of the rope, I know where the electric switch is, so I switch it on, I see the snake. There's no rope, there's no issue. But here, how do I get that light of jnanam? So one struggles, one goes to various sources. I read a book, I listen to somebody talking, and I continue to make my own conclusions. From one wrong conclusion, I go to a second wrong conclusion, to a third wrong conclusion, a fourth wrong conclusion. Until I recognize that that conclusion is wrong, that I am this body is a projection, is a conclusion that I have drawn. And that conclusion, when I recognize the error in that conclusion, that there is an error in the conclusion, I seek answer. Here, Arshavidyalaya, the student, great scholar himself, Rigveda Acharya, goes to Brahmaji and asks, Adhi Bhagavaha, hey revered sir, teach me, tell me, switch on the light for me, let me see what the truth is. I don't know where the light switch is. Please show me where the light switch is, show me where the reality of things, the reality of I. That reality of I is called Brahma Vidya. So he goes and asks for Brahma Vidya. Who will go and ask? Only somebody who knows that there is something like that exists. That the conclusion I have drawn is all wrong. Only such a person will go. No? Otherwise, you want to ask him for that knowledge. If I am already sure that I know, or I think I know, there's no question of going and asking for that. Therefore, Shastra says, when somebody thinks he knows, do not try to correct him. Because it is his conclusion. He has drawn the conclusion. He is sure that this is the right answer. If you try to tell him, he will try to defend this answer. So there is no point trying to tell him. Who should the teacher teach? The teacher only teaches those who come to the teacher and say, please teach me. Shishyasteham. Accept me as a student and teach me. So in all of these Upanishads, you will find that the student is already a person who's done a lot of, who gained a lot of knowledge, including Narada Muni, who goes to Indra and asks for this knowledge. And says, I know so many things. He lists them. But I'm still seeing there's a problem in my thinking. I am subject to sorrow. Please teach me. So Pitamaha Brahmaji accepts Arshavidyalaya as a student. In many cases, the teacher does not immediately accept the person as a student. Upanishad, he tells those students who come to him, go and do tapas for 1 year. Come back and ask me. If I know the answer, I will tell you. In many cases like that, they will send him back. Or they will say, okay, sit and do seva. Our own Ramakrishna mission does that. Continue to do seva. Then, when the teacher is clear that the student is committed, is ready, he tells him. So here, Brahmaji tells him, he doesn't immediately say, he asks for Brahma Vidya. What is Brahma Vidya? What is that knowledge of the self, which is the same as Brahman? He doesn't tell him, oh, this is Brahma Vidya. Like my physics teacher, when I was first year in college, he was doing simple harmonic motion. So his definition was very simple. He said, it's simple, it's harmonic, and it's motion. Simple harmonic motion. I don't know how much of it we understood. Of course, he went on later to teach us what it was. This teacher does not say that. No teacher of Vedanta will say that. Because what can he say? He can only say Tattvamasi. You come for the Brahma Vidya is only one small sentence. Mahavakya, Tattvamasi. Would not explain anything. It is like trying to put on the light where the rope is, and the light turns out to be a 0-watt bulb, nothing is visible. So he says there is a process you have to follow. Electric light is simple. But if we tell him that you have to light a mashal, you know what a mashal is, no? You take that flame and go looking, see what is that. Go near it. If it actually happens to be a snake, it might bite you. There's a process to follow. He says, Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yogat Avedi. You can know this. You are well prepared. You know, Arshavidyalaya is already a prepared student. You can gain it by following a process is Shraddha, Bhakti, and Dhyana Yoga. Shraddha is Shravana Hetu, that which helps me do Shravana. Because the answer to this lies only in Veda. And that Veda, you cannot say that I will read it and know. You don't know where the light switch is. You go and put on all the other light switches, but you still don't know where what is there on the floor. And you'll draw different conclusions. Initially, I thought it was a streak of water or an old discarded mala. But I draw a different conclusion. I said, no, it's not a mala. Be careful, it's a snake. Or the other way around. Conclusions continue to be ours. Till we have a pramana. Something which shows us clearly what it is. As long as in my own conclusion, the chances are that I go from one wrong conclusion to another wrong conclusion to another wrong conclusion. My brain power is limited. Every human brain power is limited. Even if you have a very high IQ, it is still limited. And to understand that which is unlimited, by drawing my own conclusions, I can continue to make error after error after error after error. In order to gain this knowledge, to find the right light, find the right jnanam, understand that jnanam correctly, one has to go to the source of the knowledge, pramana. And that source of knowledge happens to be in words. And all of us know how misinterpreted words can be. One comma, one pause makes the word convey something completely different. One little pause in the communication, that's also required. No, I know language very well. I can study Sanskritam. I'm a great Vaiyakarana, like our friend in Cambridge. You know, there's the recent video has been floating around. One Popat or somebody claims that he has a doctoral thesis which busts all the knowledge that people have learned in the last 2,500 years. I am the bright spot who found that answer. There have been a lot of rebuttals to that as well. Not enough. Tattvamasi you can interpret in 10 different ways. And people do. People interpret it in their own way because it is available for misinterpretation. So the Guru will not tell the Shishya as soon as he walks in, Tattvamasi, if you have understood, you can go home. Okay? Shraddha Yoga. Through Shraddha only. Through Shraddha in the Shastra and the Vakya of the Guru who interprets, not interprets, sorry, who unfolds the words for you. That's Shraddha, not faith. Simply because the Guru says so, you don't accept. You think, you question. You compare with what other knowledge you have. You compare with what other pramana you have. And arrive at the right thing with the help of the Shastra and the Guru. That is Shraddha. That Shraddha leads one to do Shravanam. Shravanam is the only route available to gain this knowledge. Because Shastra is the pramana, and that pramana has to be unfolded by a certain methodology which the Guru has. How did the Guru get that methodology? Because his Guru taught him. And his Guru taught his Guru. And so on, till you come to Bhagavan, Sadashiva, Dakshinamurti. Therefore, Guru was a Shrotriya, who got it in that same methodology, unchanged. Language might change a little, examples might change a little, but the same message and the same methodology. Therefore, Sadashiva Samarambham, Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Ātmatattva Paryantam, that entire parampara I bow to. Vande Guru Paramparam. Or what will the Guru do? If he is a serious student, the Guru might say, sit with me for the next 12 years. I will teach you. And what do I do in the meanwhile? Do seva. Do Shravanam. Come with an open mind. Because you want to know. And repeatedly, the Guru will say the same thing. He will say Tattvamasi in 100 different ways, using 10, 12, 15, 20 different Upanishads. All of them telling the same thing. And each one helps me look at the conclusions that I've drawn and say, where is the error? Is the error in what the Shastra says, what Guru is telling me, or is the error in the way I have assumed? In time, reconcile those differences. This will happen only with Shraddha. Therefore, Shraddha is not simply the Guru says, and therefore I agree. For that, you don't need time. The Guru says, I think about it, I compare it to what I know, I examine the differences. How can I do that? Only when I have Ishvara's grace. Because I have limitations. I have buddhi which has got certain power but certain limitations. As it is, I have an ego. A conclusion that I have drawn is my conclusion. I'm not willing to give it up. I will defend it tooth and nail. If there is some other point of view put across to me because Shastra says in a different way. I try to find holes in that rather than examine it, saying, how is it different from what I thought I knew? And analyzing the difference. No, but another big Acharya who says differently. Yes, examine that also. And arrive at what is the truth. For that, I need Ishvara's grace. Ishvara is nothing but all knowledge. If this Srishti is there, it is because there is a Srishti Karta. And that Srishti Karta must have all knowledge because he has created all this. Like our famous dreamer. Whatever is in the dream is nothing but the knowledge of the dreamer. I am sitting in here and I recognize that my ability to know is limited. My thinking capacity is excellent but limited. Therefore, I have to have Ishvara's grace, that all knowledge. Help me understand. What prevents me from understanding, please remove that. Nirvignam kurme deva. Whatever vignas there are in my understanding, remove those. Let there be light so that I can see the slope of what it is, a rope. I can see the self for what it is. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Remove all obstacles. Help me find the light switch. Help me see clearly. And burn all the obstacles away. Burn Ajnanam away. Therefore, Shraddha, Shraddha Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, it's so necessary. I cannot expect to understand this purely on my own strength. So Brahmaji says, Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yogat Avehi. May you know through Shraddha, Bhakti and Dhyana Yoga. Shraddha and Bhakti. Shraddha started my curiosity, my seeking the answer. Bhakti helped me clear all the mess that is there in my head. Brought me a certain level of ātmashuddhi, which helps me understand clearly. And Dhyana Yoga. With Dhyana Yoga, I bring my focus down just this. Ekagrita. My mind is untrained mind. No, Swamiji, I have gone through 12 years of school and I've gone through 5 years of engineering education. How can you say untrained mind? With all that training, the mind has a mind of its own. It will do what it wants to do. Dhyanam brings in that ekagrita. Vijatiya rahitam. Swajati ekagrita. Swajati, that subject that I am focusing on, I stay there and don't keep going to other objects. That kind of focus and concentration that I need. Dhyana. And we remember we've said at 2 levels that we need to look at dhyana, meditation. Saguna Brahma Manasika Vyaparaha, we've said earlier. Bhakti is there. Therefore, my focus is on Ishvara. I don't know what Brahman is. Brahman is, according to the Shastra, formless, achintyam, indriyatitam, not available for any of the senses, not available for words. I cannot therefore directly expect to go there and understand. I have to take this first step of Ishvara. Therefore bhakti and therefore dhyanam, where I only look at focusing my mind on Ishvara. Initially, I have an Ishvara in the form of Ishta Devata. My Devata is Lord Krishna. With 4 arms are Vishnu, Shankha Chakra Gada Hasta. And then slowly I begin to understand that everything here is nothing but Ishvara. And that my dhyanam becomes more and more focused on Ishvara till such a time that I begin to recognize that everything here is Ishvara and that everything here includes whatever I thought I was. My body, my mind, my senses, my thoughts, my feelings. They're all my. There has to be something of which it is mine. That's something which is of which these are all mine. When one recognizes that all of these are non-separate from Ishvara, through a process of bhakti and dhyanam, having done repeated shravanam, one then inevitably reaches the knowledge of tattvamasi. You are that Brahman, as is Ishvara. Obviously, that kind of knowledge cannot take place in one session. It has to remove a lot of mess that is in my head and eventually arrive at this. So he says, Asmai Sahovacha Pitamahascha. Pitamaha says, Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yoga Avehi. May you understand through a process of Shraddha, Bhakti, and Dhyana Yoga. I do so many things in life. All of them have a purpose. I work hard to earn money. I run fast to try and reach somewhere. All that I'm doing, will some of that at least reach me there. Swami goes on to say, the futility of all of these things. This is pure understanding. You are not going to get that understanding by doing anything. You will gain something by doing something. But you're not going to gain understanding simply by doing. By doing, what can you understand? By doing, I get certain result. But it doesn't stop there. Then I do something else, get some more result. I do something else. That cycle never stops. But what can I understand? I can understand only this much. There is a problem here. By doing, it is not helping me get this. My doing and what I'm trying to gain have no relationship with each other. That is the knowledge you will get. But what it is that I'm trying to gain, the knowledge of that cannot come from doing karma. So, akritat kritena. Kritena, by doing, you're not going to gain that which is to be gained not by doing, by knowledge alone. So Brahmaji goes on to say, na karmana na prajaya dhanena yage naike ātmatattva manashuhu. It is one of the mantras that is used when you welcome a sannyasi to your home. Karmana na prajaya dhanena tyage naike ātmatattva manashuhu. Karmana na anashuhu. You are not going to gain what you want, Arshavidyalaya, by karma. What kind of karma? Vaidika karma, smartha karma, kamya karma, all of them you are not going to gain. By kamya karma means karma, I do gain something in this loka. I work hard to gain certain dhanam. My desire, my karma. Young people, young men work hard to gain the favor of a girl. Stops there. Earn money, stops there. Kamya karma. Smartha karma. I do puja every day. I go to the temple regularly. Or Vaidika karma. I do Sandhyavandanam every day. I do Agnihotra every day. None of them na anashuku. No kind of karma is going to get you there. What will this karma do? Kamya karma will give you some satisfaction of a kama. Shrauta karma or smartha karma will give you some punya. I need that every day because I do so many papa karma. I do some knowingly, some unknowingly. Therefore, I need something to negate them. Therefore, I do daily karma of some kind. I also do Vaidika karma. There are people who follow prescribed Vaidika karma without fail. Kame karma gets you kama. After karma gets you certain punya to offset some of the papa you've done. And also perhaps to help you get to the question of saying, why am I doing it? Vaidika karma might give you a better birth next time. Might allow one to go to lokas. It's a very nice lokas. But all of these ends are limited ends. Na karmana anashuhu praptavantaha. Don't get. Nobody has got this by doing karma. Get what? There in the next line. Parenanakam nihitam guhayam vibrajate yadyatayo vishanti. That which you're seeking, Brahma Vidya, which is Ananda Swarupa, Sat Chit Ananda. That I am that Swarupa. That knowledge you're trying to gain, you're not going to gain by doing karma. But karma has a role, karma has a function. Nobody denies that. It produces certain clarity in the mind, certain ātmashuddhi, certain removal of control of ragadvesha over your mind. All of which help towards gaining that knowledge. But by this directly, you're not going to gain it. And that knowledge which you're seeking, that Vidya, Brahma Vidya, Yaya Vidyaya, Sarva Papam Apohya, that by which you cross Dharma, Dharma, Papa Punya, that you cannot reach by simply doing. Na karmana anashuhu. What else can be there? Because karma is praised in the Shastra. Karma, Vaidika karma, Artha karma, is all praised in the Shastra. Even Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says, causing a lot of confusion, Arjuna, this karma is important to do. Karma is important to do to gain the preparation for that knowledge. Karma directly does not do it. Na prajaya, progeny. Progeny comes from, I think, praja. Why is that important? Again, Shastra praises that. In fact, the Tikakara says, you can look at the Tikakara's Agnihotraadikam sahastra samvatsara santrantam yat karma. Any kind of karma, that karmana tad amritattvam na labhyate. What about praja? Prajaya pitrubhya iti shrutehi. Shruti says praja is important. Progeny is important. When this sharira falls, there must be somebody to do all the karma for your sadgati. But sadgati for what? Another loka, another sharira, So he says, while Shruti praises it, Pitrivishayad Rinat Vimochana Hetuhu Ya Pitradi Rupa. These Pitradi Rupa, you become parent because your progeny, it has certain value, but not for what you're seeking. You want Brahma Vidya, that one will help. You want Brahma Vidya, karma is not going to help. Karma will help. This will also help, but not give you directly. Na karmana labhyate, na prajaya labhyate. Then what is? Dhanena na labhyate. You, Dhanam is also praised in the Shastra. You must do Dhanam. Reaching out karma. Dhanam doesn't necessarily mean giving money. Much more, the reaching out karma, helping other beings. That Dhanam, he says, Dane sarvam pratishtitam tasmad Dhanam paramam vadanti iti shrutehi. Dhanam paramam iti shrutehi. In the Shruti, it is said that Dhanam is very important. Paramam. Utkrishtam. We have to do Dhanam. Praised in the Shastra. But here in the Upanishad it says, Dhanena nabhyate. Tikagara says, Dhanadhanasya bahuvishaya phala sadhanatva avagamat tasya dhanasya nishpadakam yat dhanam asti tena na labhyate. Dhanena ātmatattvam na labhyate. All of these are prescribed in the Shastras. But here, Brahmaji says, that vidya that you want, which you recognize as being something that you need to know, the nature of the rope on the floor, for you to have that light of jnanam, to know that, these are not the sadhana. Na karmana na prajaya dhane na tyagi naike ātmatattva manashuhu. Tyage naike. Some people, eke, ekaha normally singular. Eke, this is bahuvachanam. Some people. Karmana na prajaya dhanena tyagena eke āmritattvam manashuhu. That state where amritattvam is there, you don't gain by doing any of these. Not directly. They will all help. Only by tyaga. Tyagena eke āmritattvam manashuhu. Tyaga of what? Tyaga is giving up. Nyasa. By giving up all of these. Understanding that these are not your sadhana for Brahma Vidya. These are important, these are necessary for your preparation. But this is not the sadhana for Amritattvam. Again, Shikara says, this is Sayanacharya, not Shankaracharya. Kim tarhi karma prajadinam sarvesham laukika vaidika vyaparanam tyagena. Drop all laukika vyapara. Drop is what? Swamiji, what are you saying? You drop me all this thing. I have to do all these. No, I have responsibilities. I have children to take care of, parents to take care of. Recognize their relative value. Do what you have to do. But understand that that doing is not what is going to gain you that jnanam, that moksha. That you're doing is going to gain you punya, that's going to give you ātmashuddhi, and the jnanam is going to give you the chitta naishchalya, the ability to hold your focus. But these are not directly moksha sadhana. What is moksha sadhana? Tyagena. By not cluttering myself with all these laukika, vaidika vyavahara. I do what I have to do. I work like a karma yogi. I do karma, but with an attitude of Ishvara Samarpanam and Ishvara Prasadam, recognizing that this Sharira, which seems to do all these things, is not the I. We will continue tomorrow. Look at what is this Tyaga that he is talking about. If it is not available by these, and if only by giving up these can you get, how am I going to get it? Shraddha Bhakti Jnana Yoga Tavehi. We'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.